Hi, my name is Jack Aydelott. I'm a chef in the Conferences and Catering Department at the University of New Hampshire. In today's short video, we're going to discuss some of the essential pots and pans that you need to have for your kitchen at home. Before we can start talking about pots and pans, we need to talk about the cooking surface. Generally, you'll run into 4 different types. First of all, we have coiled elements on top. This is a very old-fashioned type of surface. You're not going to usually run into it these days unless you move into an older building. More commonly, you're going to run into a smooth surface, a ceramic glass top. It has the element sealed underneath. It makes it very easy to clean, heats up, and starts to glow, and usually it will keep some sort of warning light on when the countertop is still hot after you've taken the pot off. The third type is a gas range. So these are very popular, but they do involve having gas piped in, propane or natural gas, into your building or into your home, so they can be somewhat expensive to install. But they heat up really quickly, they cool down really quickly. Generally, any chef you speak to is going to choose that as their preferred cooking surface. Lastly, and most recently, they've introduced induction flat tops. So with an induction flat top, it uses an incredibly powerful magnet underneath the surface. Otherwise, it looks like a ceramic glass top. And that magnet reacts with ferrous metals, so iron or stainless steel that has a magnetized element to it. And those heat up the pots very, very quickly. And the nice feature is when you turn them off, the surface may still be a little bit warm from the conduction of the pot to the surface, but they cool down very quickly. They're rather expensive, so you don't see them that often, but they're becoming more and more used in buildings and in houses. So we will discuss that part when we're talking about the pots and pans. All right, on to pots and pans. It's not necessary to spend a lot of money to buy some pans that'll last you a few years and sometimes a lifetime. But one of the things you need to consider when you're buying pots and pans is what kind of surface you're going to be using now and in the future. If you're buying an inexpensive pan, it's no big deal to replace it in the future, especially when you have a little bit more money. But if you know that you're going to be using an induction burner, you're going to have to make sure that that pan is induction ready. So for that to happen, because an induction burner uses an electromagnet to heat up the surface of the pan, you need to make sure that it's ferrous, as in cast iron, or that the stainless steel is magnetized. And what's the easiest way to test that? A refrigerator magnet. That's it. Cast iron sticks. So I'll mention that as we're talking about the pots and pans. Our first one, something you may have already, 12-inch nonstick pan. Does its job really well. It's aluminum with a nonstick surface. You cook up your eggs in there, you don't have to worry about them sticking. You can saute in here, you can cook up a steak if you want to. Just don't put it on too high a heat. High heat can damage the surface. And no matter what the infomercial says, do not put rocks in here, do not hit this with a hammer. Wooden utensiled spoons or a high heat silicone spatula, otherwise you can damage the surface and have to replace it a lot quicker. And you don't want to have to do that. Because I said it's aluminum, magnets just fall off. But if you need a nonstick pan to use on your induction burner, you can afford to buy a nonstick pan that works on an induction burner. My favorite pot is a Dutch oven. This is a Lodge 5.5 quart Dutch oven. I bought it probably 10 years ago. It cost me maybe $60. They're still running about $60. Lodge makes lots of great cast iron cookware that does not cost much. Why? Because it's cast iron. It's not an expensive material to make. It's porcelain coated, makes it a little easier to clean. They will stain, especially if you use them. Don't try and scrub all that stain out. It's not going to work, and it's not worthwhile. There are a number of manufacturers that make cast iron pots and Dutch ovens. Cuisinart makes an excellent one for $80. The premier is Le Creuset. They're about $300 for a 5.5 quart. Do I have one? No. Why? My $60 Lodge works great. How can I justify spending 5 times as much? And is it 5 times as good as my Lodge? Not in the least. This has worked flawlessly for me. It'll probably last me my lifetime. But if you happen to have your best friend getting married, or you really want to impress your parents on their anniversary, buy them a Le Creuset. It'll last them their lifetime, their children's lifetime, and they'll be passing it down to their grandchildren. Absolutely exquisite pot. Also very heavy. Because it's cast iron, you need to be careful when moving it around. This is sitting on a cloth on a wooden countertop. Why? Because I could easily ding this countertop. If I'm not careful when putting this onto a ceramic surface or an induction surface, which is also ceramic, I can easily crack it. I could drop it and crack it. If I drop it on my toes, I guarantee you I'll crack those too. Be very careful using it, but it's my favorite pot. Okay, my second most popular pan, because I like to do a lot of sauces and stir frying, is a 5.5 quart Saute Pan. Now it's the same size as a Dutch oven, and it performs some similar features to it, but because of the larger surface area, I can stir fry in this, I can make sauces. It's a little easier to work with the ingredients because you can spread them out a bit. It will go in an oven like a Dutch oven. You can put this into 500 degrees, no problem at all. It's all metal. Obviously, you need to be extremely careful when you're handling these handles. But I use it all the time. I love it. You don't have to spend a fortune. This is a Cuisinart, and it was maybe $60. I think you can get them for about $80 now. Calphalon makes great ones. Tramontina. The creme de la creme is all clad, but those generally run around $180. So is that 3 times as good as my Cuisinart? No. Is it amazing? Yes. This is stainless steel with an aluminum core, as most of these pans are, but it doesn't have a magnetized stainless steel to them. So if I get an induction burner in the future, I will have to replace this. But a great pan to have. Not essential. You could cook in your Dutch oven if you need to, but doesn't cost a lot of money, and it's fairly compact, so easy to store. Okay, on the saucepans. I have a 1.5 quart here and a 3 quart. Do you need to have both? No, but it sure is nice. If you know it's only going to be you and maybe one other person you're cooking for all the time, 1.5 is fine. But if you're going to have friends over, 4, 6, 8 people, you're going to want to have a 3 quart available. This is great for heating up small amounts of soup, for heating up rice for up to 8 people. The 2 versions I have here are both made by the creme de la creme of pot makers, all clad. This is a heavy-duty stainless steel on the outside with an aluminum core. The stainless steel allowing the heat to transfer through quickly, and the aluminum core holding on to the heat very well. It's magnetized stainless steel on the outside, so these are induction capable. This pot's probably around $100. This pot's probably around $140. Do you need to spend that much? No. You can get some lower cost versions from Tramontina, Calphalon, Cuisinart. There are a number of manufacturers. Do look at reviews online and at various websites to make sure you're getting a good quality product, and they'll last you quite a long time. However, if you are going to a wedding or you really want to impress your significant other, buy them one of these. It'll last them their lifetime, their children's lifetime, and they'll pass it down to their grandchildren. An amazing pot. Okay, the last pot we're going to talk about today is a 20 quart stock pot. Now, I was a little hesitant about mentioning this, and one of the reasons is they're very bulky. They take up a lot of space. You need to make sure you have space in your cabinets to hold them. If you have some storage space in the basement, great. But if you're in a small apartment, sometimes this can get in the way. If you have to move around a lot, it does have the advantage of having a lot of space in it. So you can put all of your spices in here. You can put tools and peelers and whatnot for transporting. But do make sure before you buy this that you know the dimensions and that you're going to have some place to put this. Why do I recommend it? It holds a whole bunch of water. It's great for making a large amount of soup, a large amount of chili, for boiling water for pasta, for corn. If you're in New England, you need some way of cooking up your lobsters, and this is what you want to cook them in. You don't need to spend a ton of money. An all-clad pot of this size would probably be about $250 to $300. This cost me about $65, $70. It works just fine. Is it as good as an all-clad? No. But once again, look for a quality manufacturer, look at reviews, and you can get a much less expensive pot and pan. Okay, there you have it. Those are the top 5 pots and pans for your starting kitchen. Now, as I've been describing the pots and pans to you, I've mentioned Le Creuset and all clad and how you can give them to your parents, to your best friend for their wedding, and that they'll last a lifetime and they'll pass them down. Now, this may sound strange to some people, pots and pans, passing them down, But if you have a family that's centered around food and when you get together you all cook and everybody does a various job, having a utensil, a knife or a pot and pan that you can remember your ancestors from. This is my great grandmother's Dutch oven, and I adore it. It's nothing fancy. I've used it for the last few years, and my mother knows that I want to inherit this. I've made chili in it. I've carried it up to the top of mountains and hung it over a fire. I make the most beautiful bowls in it. When I use it, I'm reminded of my family. So that's why I mentioned that some of these items can be passed down from generation to generation. I'd also like to make an honorable mention for a cast iron skillet. 12-inch cast iron skillet. Costs about $18. Will last a lifetime. Works on an induction burner because it's complete cast iron. Why isn't it part of the top 5? Because it requires some maintenance. It's not porcelain lined, so it will rust if it's not washed properly, if it's not seasoned properly. It's very heavy, so it's not something you just put in your luggage and travel across country. In fact, if you do ever invest in one of these, make sure you go to a store and you pick it up, because that, my friends, is heavy. I had a friend who wanted some advice on the cast iron pan. I said, I need to come to the store with you and show you. She picked one up. She said, I can't carry that. I said, well, let's try a 10-inch. And that's what she ended up buying. So, on behalf of the University of New Hampshire, thank you very much for spending your time with me today. If you have any questions at all, my email will be attached to the end of the video. Thank you.